You're listening to Spring River Chronicle. Audio on the go.
First National Banking Company. Get checking that pays with Super Plus Checking at FNBC.
Questions and answers with the Congressman. A personal interview with Arkansas Congressman Rick Crawford by Hazel Fessend. In question, with our area having been a part of recent events, such as an ice storm, tornadoes, floods and potentially an earthquake, how can your role as Vice Chair of Economic Development, Public Buildings and Emergency Management help our residents in the event of future natural disasters? Answer: I think first and foremost it helps us shine a light on this area a little more effectively than what has been the case in the past. I mean, having that position sort of gives me a little more insight. Here's the great thing, too, is that ASU is developing a degree program in emergency management. So, we're going to see so much more emphasis and attention paid to emergency management in Northeast Arkansas, as a result of going forward in partnership with FEMA, who are developing the curriculum. Question: another role of the subcommittee is to oversee agencies and programs promoting economic development in communities suffering economic distress. According to your website, you cite the Appalachian Regional Commission, which is a federal-state partnership that works for sustainable community and economic development in Appalachia. What can the citizens of the Spring River area do to take advantage of your experience in working with these types of programs so that we might develop more economic opportunities? Answer: those are some congressionally authorized regional authorities, much like the Delta Regional Authority here. Now, in the broader sense, the Delta Regional Authority identifies states, but it really concentrates areas. When you get out near the Ozarks, and that's what this is, we haven't have a whole lot of attention paid to the Ozarks. It's a big deal to get a regional authority proposed and passed through Congress. However, what I have done is partner with our Congresswoman to the north, and we're going to develop a regional caucus. That caucus, while it would function as a regional authority with respect to funding it, will help us, as a region, better define the region and identify some of the problems folks in this region face. Question: what can we do as citizens who are looking at this and it affects our jobs and customers? Answer: the best thing you can do is just lean forward on these economic issues as much as you can, and identify areas where you can offer businesses an incentive to be here. If we're talking about economic development, play to your strengths and use the resources you have. Certainly in the Spring River area there are a lot of natural resources, and tourism is critical. Embrace those resources and take advantages of the natural advantages you have, and try to parlay those into something bigger with respect to economic development. Now, the other issue is certainly quality of life, that you can offer other communities and other regions. For folks who like the outdoors, capitalize on that and work to try and develop that and improve the economy that way. And finally, communicate with us as much as you can so we are able to work with you on the issues, because you're the eyes and ears on the ground. The best ideas come from outside of Washington, so let's not wait for someone in Washington to come up with the ideas. Let's bring the ideas to Washington, and I think that's the whole idea. Question: since it is Veterans Day, I wanted to touch on the heroes we are celebrating today. What message would you like to share with our veterans? Answer: there are a number of bills that have been passed in this Congress, and one of the most important things I think is to serve our younger veterans coming back from Afghanistan, and it is the VOW Act. It helps re-assimilate and find meaningful employment for these returning veterans. There are 3 more that had already been signed into law, and one's the Restoring GI Bill Fairness Act. The other is the Veterans Compensation Cost of Living Adjustment Act and Veterans Healthcare Facilities Capital Improvement Act. So, those are a few things we've done, and there are several others that have been passed in the House but not been taken into the Senate. So, we've been very active with trying to make sure our veterans are protected. Question: if you could say anything, what is one thing you want to say to this community? Answer: well, first off, go Rebels. In the sense of what is it that I do and why, I'm here being your voice, and being your voice requires I'm your ears and listen, which is why we come to events like this and are aggressively engaged in listening. It's a privilege to do what I'm doing, and it's not something I take lightly. I want people to know I think about events like this when I'm up there. To get to go to football games on Friday night is something I think most people take for granted, and when you miss out you realize how important they are. Enjoy this time. There are people, our veterans, making sure you have the right to have fun under the lights on Friday nights, so recognize that. And finally, I'm there at the pleasure of the people and I work for them, and it's an honor and a privilege.
Thanks for listening to Spring River Chronicle Audio on the Go. Be sure to subscribe to the paper and check us out online at myspringriver.com.